All right. Well, for everybody who is on YouTube, sorry about that. I forgot to hit the button, and well, we got it. We got it up. See if we can get this down back to where we need to be here. So 7 seconds. We're just talking about putting this video here, putting 11 rounds on an IPSC in the A zone in 7 seconds. Doing what this officer needed to do. So yeah, go out and try that and see how you fare. I would imagine the first couple times that you try this, it's probably not going to work out.
Yeah, that's what you said before. You get schooled real quick on that. 11 shots on target in 7 seconds.
And you don't need a fancy shot timer. Use your cell phone. That's going to be close enough.
Right. Yep.
The next thing we want to talk about here is this near miss. Local officer shoots an injured deer and the bullet nearly hits a man who is sleeping. We kind of hammer on this. And it doesn't matter if you're taking a basic class, intro to handguns, or an instructor class. You're responsible for every round you fire, no matter what. No matter what it hits, no matter where it goes, no matter what it does. So for this to happen is probably a ricochet.
Yeah, probably.
Another shot went to the back window of a car in the driveway. So maybe this isn't a ricochet. This guy fired 4 shots to put down a seriously injured deer along the front sidewalk. He was concerned police would not be upfront about the case. He also contacted Figure Law to represent him. There's a bullet hole right above his headboard. Oak Park Chief Steve Cooper fully discussed the incident and gave us police photos. He also personally visited family to apologize and said he's glad no one injured. He said the buck starts and stops with me. Well, maybe you should teach the officer to hit the buck in the proper way. He said it was appropriate for the officer to put down the deer with his service weapon, even in a heavily populated neighborhood, because it was bleeding from the mouth and had severe leg injuries after being hit with a car. The chief said the house was either in a line of fire or bullets ricocheted. One shot broke off an antler on the deer. The chief says an internal investigation is underway. This is unfortunate. We talk a lot about the officers that come into our establishment looking for help. They're not infallible. They're people like anybody. They have to learn how to run the gun. They have to think about where the rounds are going. They have to think about what their backstop is. And this officer clearly made a mistake and probably going to be held responsible for it. But, it's just something that, we get to learn from and understand that it isn't just us that has to worry about this. It's everybody.
Right.
So,
especially in a residential area.
Yeah. I mean, where we're going to deal with this is maybe out in the country, rabid animals are putting down something, defensive situation and uses. We're still responsible for that. You're still having the worst day that you can imagine, and now you're going to be responsible for errant rounds. So we have to train to the point where we're good enough to hit what we need to hit. That's
exactly where it's at. So.
Essentially what it is. New York City black leaders call on the mayor to put more cops back on the street.
What?
And last week, they wanted them defunded.
And they did, I guess.
Well, they stopped this crime unit that they had going on, and it apparently didn't work. So I don't know what to tell them. I mean, if you take cops off the street, you're going to have an increase in crime. It's a deterrent. It's the way it is. I don't know. Biggest casualty limiting or restricting or outright eliminating law enforcement in cities that go the way will be the very minorities and politicians and activists say they're trying to protect, which is absolutely the thing. And I see a bunch of this stuff about, oh, we're gonna go with social workers and things like. What's that? We just watched a video where a deranged man with a screwdriver and a knife tried to assaulted somebody, stabbed them, and then tried to assault a police officer. And we're going to send a social worker out there.
Yeah.
Let
me know how that works out.
To talk to the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the officer made no, I guess,
no hostile actions at all.
Yeah. You know? But now we're going to send somebody that's poorly equipped and probably poorly trained to deal with that situation. Probably more on the mental side, better equipped after something like that. When the guy can't kill you with a screwdriver, that's when you need that particular person.
Yeah.
So these community leaders gathered in Brooklyn on Tuesday to call upon the mayor, city council, and clergy leaders to end violence ravaging their communities. Activists disparaged the police reforms proposed by city officials and accused them of urging anti-cop activists to dictate city policy. They called upon de Blasio not to sign the police reform bill the city council just passed. So they didn't even get the bill passed, and they figured it out. Like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah.
So
I don't pretty know much where to go with that. You know, it's like
that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
it sums it up. And the thing is, they're saying it's all about gun control now. That the reason there's so much violence on the streets, you took all the cops out of there.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, how can the guns don't just lay around and shoot people.
No,
they have to be in the hands of somebody to shoot that gun.
A criminal that's not being arrested.
Yeah, who has no concept or cares about any
conscience,
no value of human life for anything.
Right. Well, on top of that, they're letting him out of jail for Pete's sake. So,
right.
I mean, hey,
but they say it's working. Oh, it's working great. They got rid of all these people out of the jails. Right. Of course, you let them out.
And then we got this. Police reportedly confiscate the gun belonging to the St. Louis couple who defended their private property. We talked about this a bunch. And poorly trained as they are, the McCloskeys did not deserve to have their firearms confiscated. This is a trumped-up charge. It's a bunch of garbage. Does she need some training? Does he need some training? Do they need a lot here? There's a lot going on here to unpack. But sending the police in there to confiscate their firearms is not. They were well within their rights, and understand a different state, different rules in Ohio. So they were within their rights to defend their property, which, understand when I say their property, we're talking about the people inside of their home and themselves, keeping them off from their property, not protecting the statues in the house itself. That's
exactly
the idea behind it, the castle doctrine.
I saw a little known photo of her when she was pointing the gun at someone, and it was taken from the other side, and just like the arm and half of the back of the head of a guy holding an AR-15 on her.
And I
So,
looked at a bunch of that stuff, and they're saying that's a camera boom. So
bull.
I
It didn't look like a camera boom to me.
I saw the photo, and it didn't look like a camera boom to me, but yeah. So this is and this is one of the most damaging pictures. And here's the thing: you got to understand Cameron. It looks like she's pointing the gun right at the back of her husband's head, but if you watch the video and look the other way, she's not actually pointing it. It's going off the other direction. But in any event, there's a lot of problems with this scenario, but confiscation and prosecution isn't or shouldn't
No.
be one of the problems that
They act. They were the people who broke in there were guilty of burglary, really.
essentially.
So,
I don't know what to tell them, but if you kick somebody's fence in a gated community in Missouri, that's part of their castle doctrine. They wrote that for a reason. One of the biggest fiasco that we've seen lately, just got a little worse. Back to Portland,
yeah.
they created another autonomous zone.
I think the cops went in this morning, or
Yeah, federal officers are complaining that
Yeah.
the federal officers
Yeah.
are running around arresting these people.
right,
Well, they stole people's homes and businesses and
right.
streets, and you can't just go in and set something up and not expect some kind of
Yeah.
retaliation. What were they calling it? That last Antifa stand they set up, Chop or
Chop.
Chaz or some
Chop,
crap like
yeah.
this, and they got a name for this one too. This is all about the federal courthouse. They hit a federal officer in the head because he refused to let him into the building to burn it down. He was trying to shut the door. They whacked the dude with a hammer. The police officer, and I'm trying to find the name of this thing that I think they're calling it Chlop or some ridiculous
something.
Clat. Yeah. And I don't know what Clat stands for.
Land, autonomous territory.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, supposedly they're named it after a Native American tribe who was removed from the area or defeated or something like that. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, these guys are fighting against a made up enemy or a problem. They say
they
that
are.
Fascism is coming, and I think, and I've seen this time and time again.
And they are the ones who are the fascists.
Well, and that's the thing. And I think really this is a failure of the education system and they say that's a right wing type thing, and I don't know who finally declared it right wing. And I don't deal much in left and right and crap like that, but fascism is a derivative of communism, Marxism, socialism,
sure. Right.
which are traditionally in this day and age leftist ideals.
Yeah.
And there isn't anybody that I've seen on the right of the political spectrum that has got anything to do with this fascist type stuff. I mean,
No. I saw a good one this morning, where a police chief, somewhere in the United States, was asking a Black Lives Matter representative why his police force was more diverse than their protest group.
um,
That's like, yeah, pretty good.
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
He had more minority people on his police force than the group that was protesting.
yeah, I don't know. That seems to be rather redundant.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, don't get it. I don't get it. And I missed your comment, Aaron. Yes, reloading materials are getting scarce. If you find them, you better snap them up. And I'm going to reply to your comment here. If I can get the computer to work. Still trying to figure out Facebook and the internet. My first day here.
I think every day is the first day with a computer.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like, oh my God.
As soon as you get it figured out, they change it.
Yep.
So we got some good news here. Bad news for one person. Good news for 3 other. A mother shoots a man in the head as he tries to steal her car with her children inside. Good job.
Yeah.
When we look at this, this lady shot a carjacker in the face as he attempted to steal a car, which still had her 2-year-old and 4-year-old sons inside of it. Booker Hicks was paying for gas at a Shell station on I-35 last Wednesday night when she saw a man enter her car. I proceeded to jump in the back seat, told the gentleman to stop, get out of the car. He would not get out of the car. He turned around and looked at me. I reached over the armrest to get my glove compartment, and that's when I fired at him once and got the gun from my glove compartment. This sentence doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but apparently she retrieved the gun from the glove compartment and shot the dude. And I'm assuming that this is the mug shot from a previous arrest. Because
prior arrest.
I don't see no holes in the dude. Suspect later identified as 36-year-old Ricky Wright, which Mr. Wright was wrong. He was shot through the face just under his right eye. He immediately ran the car off the road and crashed into a fence. He exited the vehicle, then collapsed in the middle of the street. Neither Booker Hicks nor her children were injured. Good job. She says, I wasn't necessarily worried about my car. I was more worried about the kids. She continued to say that she had intended to fire a warning shot, but now wishes she had emptied the whole magazine.
Here you go.
Take that, perpetrator. She says, I'm not a killer or anything, but I do believe in defending what's mine. Now, we're going to back up here a second. If you're talking to the news, unless you've been exonerated from charges and your lawyer has told you, you can talk to a news, you can talk on social media, anything. Don't say stuff like that.
No, don't.
Right? Because there's some numbnuts prosecutor running around somewhere is going to go, I'll bet I can get her convicted on that. So they don't say stuff like that. Yeah. While we appreciate it, other people don't. Booker Hicks currently faces no charges, and attorney Toby Shooks doubts any will be forthcoming. When children are involved, obviously the authorities are going to be very understanding of that. The law says if a reasonable person in her situation would have acted the same way, found it immediately necessary to protect herself or a third party in the case of her children, then that's a legitimate self-defense claim. And she absolutely had a legitimate self-defense claim. Kidnapping 2 small toddler-aged children is absolutely a life or death situation. Booker Hicks had just purchased her firearm for self-defense earlier that week. All right. She had no idea she would be using it so soon. Booker Hicks did not have a license to carry, but in Texas, police confirmed that citizens are allowed to carry the firearm inside their vehicle without a license. So, the dude that got in the car has been charged with 2 counts of unlawful restraint and unauthorized use of a motor vehicle.
He must be still alive.
He has a long history of criminal activity, including but not limited to assault, family violence, arson, theft, and making terroristic threats, resisting arrest, and multiple drug charges. So this guy was a super duper, not upstanding citizen. Wright's current condition is listed as serious but stable. And in this is my opinion, that's one of the best outcomes. The dude didn't die, so she hasn't got to deal with that stigma.
And I'll bet he won't be carjacking no more cars.
I mean, I would hope that he doesn't do that in the great state of Texas, no more. And he is going to survive the rest of his life with a gigantic scar on his face to remind him he's stupid.
Yeah. Yep.
So here we go.
Yep.
Hopefully, this dude learns his lesson.
Somehow they all don't.
No.
They normally don't.
So we got a thing where you folks can help out. If you have been around the concealed carry thing for a while, you'll know about Ohioans for Concealed Carry, which remember, quite a while ago, this lady, Nikki Goser, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name properly. She came to Ohio twice to testify in favor of our what we call restaurant carry bill. 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago now, I don't remember the timeline, it was not legal for you to carry your handgun in a place that served alcohol on premises for consumption, which included a whole host of grocery stores and restaurants and all this other good kind of stuff. This lady was instrumental in getting that bill passed so that we don't have to worry about it as long as we're not consuming alcohol. Her husband, Ben, was murdered in front of her by a stalker while her gun was stored in her car due to Tennessee state law that prohibited carrying in places that serve alcohol. Here's the bad part. She helped us get this restaurant carry bill passed. Now, her stalker, this dude named Hank Wise, is continued to stalk her from prison, writing her letters and threatening her from jail, all while earning time off his sentence for good behavior. The state corrections system isn't doing anything. She reached out to the feds because he is using the U.S. mail to stalk and harass her. Nikki is not a wealthy woman. She spent $10,000 on a lawyer so far, building a case to present to the feds. She's requiring another $8,000 to continue. So they've set up a GoFundMe page to try and get her some funds after she lost her husband, went through that battle, and now is being literally harassed by the jackwagon who shot her husband
From jail.
from jail. So we got a link in the description. If you can help her out, give a few bucks. This has been vetted by multiple organizations and people and stuff like that. So that's not, you're not wasting your money on some scam. Give her a few bucks, $1, $2, $5, $10, whatever it might be, to help her out. She helped us out with our restaurant carry bill. Let's help her out, get rid of this numbnuts.
Keep him in jail.
Yes. So hopefully this guy not only stays in jail, but if for whatever reason he gets out, he leaves her alone. So anyway, that's just a ridiculous situation. We've dealt with that before, so
Yeah.
go down and tell this guy to piss
A
off.
restraining order is just a piece of paper. They don't give a crap about that.
Absolutely, it is. And
especially when there's no bail.
well, exactly, right? So maybe we can do something to get this guy off her back. Somebody needs to do something. Hopefully the feds do something about it.
Yeah.
So that's what we got for news. We got a couple of products that are pretty cool. And the summer months, these help out a bunch. And these are pretty cheap. They're under $10. I use these, have used them for a long time. And I use this brand. We're not affiliated with this brand. We sell this brand. We sell this brand because I've used it for a long time and it works well. It's called Ops Drops, right? They're an anti-fog drop for pretty much anything. I put these on my safety glasses. I put them on my rifle scopes. I started using them on a pair of Nikon binoculars that my wife got me. That really nice binoculars, but they were not water and fog proof, and she didn't know that when she bought them. And this takes care of it. Well, I've actually dismantled the binoculars, put this on the inside and the outside. Awesome. Okay, you can get a bigger bottle. This is the size bottle that I use. Okay, stops the fog. So sea drops, same stuff, same company, little different. This is more for marine use than these. These come in a bag that is actually a lens cleaner. Awesome stuff. They work great. Can't say enough about them. They're cheap. They're going to make your life easy when it comes to.
Those probably work even if you're using them for regular glasses and wearing a mask, because that's,
Yeah,
you know, you wear a mask just going to the bank or something, your glasses will fog up, and it's like,
yeah.
you can't see anything.
Absolutely. And they work for that. So yeah, they do work for regular glasses. And it works pretty well. You do have to reapply them if you get super wet, but it's not something you want to stay on there all the time. What I can tell you is if you're going to get the big bottle of them, it does expire. What the expiration date is, I don't know. I had a bottle of this that I had for like 5 or 6 years, and it got kind of cloudy and didn't work so well. But that's pretty unreasonable to expect it to last that long.
Right. Exactly.
So check it out. Anti-fog stuff. You don't find too much of this stuff that actually works well, but this actually works well. That's why we got it.
Yeah. The other thing we got here is basically a spring-loaded barrel mount tripod or bipod. It's either be kind of handy.
Move over that way. Yeah, that way I can see it.
Be kind of handy, even on a 22 rifle or something like that, or a centerfire rifle, hunting rifle, whatever. They kind of click together just like this. Got a catch on the bottom so it stays like that. You put it in a backpack or whatever, and if you need it, pop it out, goes around the barrel. You got a bipod.
I think I need one of those for my 22.
Yeah,
for the rimfire shoot here this weekend.
It's pretty cool, and it doesn't add any weight to your gun. You just take it off when you get done and throw it back in your backpack.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they're like $15,
yeah,
something like that. But for times when you need a bipod, but don't really want to have one attached to your gun with all the weight and everything, might not be a bad thought to have one. You don't need a bipod all the time anyway, mostly, unless you're going to the range all the time. But for a hunting gun or something like that, quick, easy, boom, you got a bipod. And when you get done, fold it up, put it back in your backpack or your range bag or whatever. So, pretty cool thing.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna have technical difficulties or what the deal is, but stuff just isn't working out for me tonight. But what are you gonna do? Try as hard as we can. Yeah. So that's what we got.
We're a little short.
We're a little short tonight. Been super busy over the last 4 months. 3 years, 4 years. We're going on 4 years now. Yeah. So we're going to cut her down a little bit and make sure that we get some good stuff for next week. If you guys need to get signed up for class, get signed up as fast as you can. They're filling to the point where
well, there was 7 spots open for the one class today, and build all of them, just
Yeah.
between 11 and 1.
So yeah, get signed up. Don't wait. We hate to have to turn away people, but that's why we have such a rigorous schedule over the next few months. And we try and do as many as we can. There's just physically not enough hours in the day. We got 7 of us that are going and doing this. So, you get 4 or 5 guys on a big class. It takes a bunch, and we're here every weekend. So we're doing as many as we can. Get signed up. We'd like to see you. We appreciate everybody. We're going to call it a night, and we will see you right here next week, same time. And I will try and turn on the YouTube with the microphone. You run the internet and all this technical mumbo jumbo properly next week. I can't guarantee it, but we're going to try. All right. So everybody have a good weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you right here next